It doesn't matter. The personnel don't matter because we saw what Foden can do when he dropped in the middle and he left that wing and he came inside and he glides past players and he shoots. That's what he can do. We saw when Saka is isolated 1-on-1. It doesn't matter if it's Palmer. It doesn't matter who it is on the pitch. He has to actually find the right system. This Kieran Trippier thing on the left side is not working. The guy is just dominant, right-footed, and he hinders every time the ball goes to the left. He hinders the play. Right, Declan Rice in the middle with Trent. Okay, that's done. You need Kobe Mainoo there to control the ball because apparently Declan Rice is, as Jacob said, is just a spicy Hoiberg. He cannot control the ball as much as Jacob said. It's just
There's no
obvious.
need for that. There's no need for that.
It's not a dig, bro.
There's no need for
Declan Rice again today.
No
He
need for
was
that, bro.
tasked to get the ball from the defense to get it to the forwards, and he couldn't. He just couldn't do it. He couldn't turn. Trent couldn't do it. Nobody can do it. The only guy that at least try him is Kobe Mainoo, who even in one of the worst Man United seasons looked like a bright star there, looked like a shining star there. He could turn, he can dribble, he doesn't lose the ball. He looks good. Just give him a shot. And for everybody asking for for Phil Foden to play on the 10, he's too coward, Southgate, to do that, guys, because no Cole Palmer and Phil Foden aren't going to defend. Looking from outside, I'm looking at this, I'm like, he's too concerned about the opposition that he wants his number 10, someone like Jude Bellingham, who will run around, put in tackles, help defensively. And until he fixes the system, it's not going to work. You might just be the 1-0 team or the 1-1 team or the 2-1 team until the end of the tournament.
But this is the problem. This is the problem, right? Because if you give Spain, if you give a Brazil team, if you give any other decent international team this squad, I'm hearing a lot about egos and superstars, right? Look at that 2008 Spain team. Look at the egos and the superstars in that team. But what they did, they played with bravery. They played with a system and a balance that worked because they had a brave manager that let them play to their best abilities. And when you look at England, there's no balance because he's just trying to fit square pegs in round holes and it doesn't work. And this is the thing that frustrates me. Right, when you go through the squad, Gahey has been outstanding, by the way, and I love to see it because everyone writ him off, and he's been absolutely phenomenal. John Stones has to play, but once again, when he's got the likes of Trent and Rice basically sat in front of him, he's not able to be the John Stones that we see at Manchester City. Trippier, you can tell he's waiting for Luke Shaw to come back, and I don't know if that's going to work out or not, but you can definitely tell that's what he's waiting for. Kyle Walker, for me, him and Trent should be rotating in the games, especially against the lesser teams. Because when you play Trent, the whole reason why Southgate supposedly picked Trent was because of his passing ability. It doesn't work in midfield, and it's never going to work in defensive midfield because he's never played there properly before. When you watch Trent, he has Salah in front of him who he can play the ball long to, or he can try and play switches of play. It's never going to work in midfield, and you can tell that it's an absolute waste. And the fact he's tried to stick with it for so long is awful. You look at Kobe Mainoo this season, unbelievable breakout. How's he not got on the pitch? Someone explain that to me. Why?
Can I tell you why, my friend? Just add one point before the guys come in. He's too scared, guys. When he made the sub, instead of trying to control the game, who does he bring on the first sub? Conor Gallagher. He's so worried about the opposition. It's and instead of bringing someone to control the game, to have the ball, bro, you aren't playing against Brazil. You aren't playing against Spain. This is Hoiberg, with all due respect. He's bringing Conor Gallagher to tackle them instead of bringing Wharton or bringing Main or even getting someone that will control them. He's so worried about. He's never gonna do what you guys said because he's so worried.
And this is the issue we've got because when Gahey's the perfect example, right? Gahey wasn't expected to really start, so he's going in fearless into games. Kobe Mainoo, when you look at him for the last 6 months for United, had that fearlessness, he had that bit of arrogance that you want. I'll receive the ball, I'll make something happen in a United team that's not been great. How's he not getting on the pitch? And it just, the leadership is absolutely awful from Southgate, but there's just no bravery in anything that he does. And this squad deserves better because if you were to give that to a Scolari years ago, he would get the best out of these players and he would find a system where it works cohesively. The fact that you're trying to play Trent in midfield when he's never played there before for Liverpool is never going to work. The fact you're trying to play Rice in a position next to Trent where he's having to do a lot of covering because Trent doesn't play there, doesn't work. It's awful to watch. Foden on the left-hand side, it's never going to work. And then your substitutions are so weak, and just it's driving me insane because we are going to waste another generation of absolute talent and players, and we are never going to win anything until we find a manager that's brave enough to actually play a system that works.
I could not agree more, man. I honestly couldn't agree more, man. Listen, I really fear for England. I fear for England against the bigger teams. I fear for England against a Germany who can really pick you apart and just find those pockets of space where they can go into and they can just get a shot on goal, and they can just it might be a 4 or 5-0. It could be an embarrassment if we get into the knockout stages, and it really is something that needs to be discussed. Why, whenever we go into, like, they showed it at halftime on BBC One, in the halftime thing, they showed before we scored the goal the positioning of the players. After we scored the goal, the position of the players, it dropped. Everybody dropped on the pitch. Why is this happening? Is that something that the manager's pushing towards them? Why are they being told to do this? As soon as you score a goal and the team's already on the back foot now, that's when your time is. That's when the time for you to press is, bro. You know what I mean? You need to go and put pressure on them and like really try and push them into a corner and just keep on going at them, bro. And I just feel like, listen, this Southgate guy, he has no balls as a manager. He doesn't want to put the team out that should be played there. He wants to put the team out that he thinks is going to make the fans happy. And the fact is, it's not even making the fans happy, because the team that he put out there is actually making us pull our hairs out. So
you're spot on. He's doing the same thing that Ericsson, and I know he's unwell at the minute, and I don't want to wish to speak ill of him, but he's doing what he did, where it was like, oh, you know what, Scholes, and he's admitted what he did. Scholes is their best technical player. So I need to get him and Gerrard and Lampard in. He's more capable of playing on the left than them two, so I'm going to move him out there. What he should have had the balls to have done is dropped one of them. And my honest opinion, it should have been Lampard and it should have been Gerrard and Scholes playing together. That's what we should have done. And then you had it slightly later, we had Michael Carrick, who was the only top quality controller that England had. Scholes had retired, and he was the only England midfielder that never got picked. Because we've just got to go for the guys that score screamers, or the guys that, I don't know, put the bums on the seats and the sponsors love. It's weird. And you can have superstars, but not. I feel like maybe there is an element here. Oh, Donald Sutherland Sr.'s died. Sorry, just random. I just see it come up on the news.
Oh, wow.
God to rest his soul. Great actor.
I was going to say real quick.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, Brandon. Go on.
You know what else is really worrying? Look at how we're so not press resistant. It is unreal.
Yeah.
That first goal goes in and we drop a little bit deeper. All of a sudden, Denmark start pressing us a little bit, and we're losing the ball left, right, and centre. We can't string two passes together. So imagine a team like Germany who's going to press you high, a team like Spain who's going to press you high, Italy, all these other teams with added quality in their team as well. If we can't string two passes together when we're getting pressed, we're going to get absolutely...
Brandon, can I ask you something? Is that players' abilities or system?
That's system, Mo. It's not got anything to do with the abilities of the players. We know that these players...
see them in the Premier League.
We know that these players have quality. Okay. They have quality. We wouldn't be sitting here saying Declan Rice, one of the best defensive midfielders in world football. Jude Bellingham at Real Madrid just got Player of the Year, ahead of the likes of Vinicius Jr., etc., etc. All these players have quality. They don't know how to get it out of them because he's crap. Let's be honest. I feel sorry for Tell, and I feel sorry for Drizzy as well, because they've had to watch Ten Hag ball all year.
And then they're coming to this.
They're watching it next season as well.
It's funny because I felt similarly about it. It got to a point where even if we'd have scored like a winner in the last 5 to 10 minutes, I wouldn't have been happy, because people go, I know it's about winning games, but I think for me, it's this, with this squad, I feel like we should be so much better.